It has been a few days since the World Series had concluded. I've had some time to process the event, and I think now I can speak on it with some calm and elegance. This whole thing started like a month ago when the Blue Jays was beating the Yankees in the ALDS. My dad was like, "Did you see the Blue Jays beating the Yankees?" And it was a stomp too. And I was like, "No. Like, why do I care? Like, why do you care?" We had never shown interest in baseball, and I just don't care about sports in general. I think the highlights and the stories are cool, but I'm just not a fan, right? And my first baseball experience was pretty shit. Was very young, saw the Blue Jays versus I think the Yankees. The memory is foggy, but I think it was a stomp for the Yankees. The seats were so far, I couldn't see anything. The whole thing was just such a snooze fest, and I think I fell asleep. So afterwards, I was like, yeah, never going to one of these again. It was so boring. Like, who even likes this? Going back to now, well, we caught game 3 and 4, during which my dad kept asking me questions, and I was like, yo, some of these rules I don't even know myself. So I don't even know what I'm looking at sometimes. So after seeing the game, Blue Jays lost again to the Yankees, by the way. I just Googled and ChatGPT'd a bunch of rules and a question I had. Like, I didn't even know you can still run after like a fly ball. And I always had this question, um, why first basemen are sometimes so... Because like, if you see a ground ball going to second, knowing you're gonna get double played, why are you running? But then I learned the forced run rule, and it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. So I would watch a game, learn something new, and then repeat. But this really escalated when I became curious about pitching and decided to look a bit more into it. And I was shocked just how deep the rabbit hole goes. Because as a philosophy channel, we really appreciate the psychological battle between the batter and the pitcher, and I guess the catcher in this case, sometimes. All these types of balls to throw and like conditioning. Like before, I thought like a pitcher would just pitch the entire game. The shock when I discovered that there's 5 starting pitchers and like 6 or 7 relievers, like backup pitchers, like crazy amount of like people. So a lot of like strategies and stuff like can go into this. So now during the games, I'll like psychoanalyze the situation. I still remember saying this, like it was the Mariners game. A substitute hitter got brought on. The count was 3-2, and I was like, the pitcher should throw a bait because as a substitute hitter, they barely get a chance, so they won't be satisfied with just getting a base walk, and will very likely swing and hope to prove their worth. So you should 100% hit them with a bait. Hey, and if you think me talking like about pitching is bad, I've truly fallen when I looked into batting order, which led me to statistics. Oh god, I won't even get into that because I can rant about it all day. So it went from beyond ranting about just pitching to now like onto like batting order. For example, I would say like Cal Raleigh is placed in second position because he has high slug percentage, which means he can hit long and hard, pushing his first batter and ninth, who are good at getting on base, back home. And whenever he hits a home run, people will say dumper. So learning more about the game had made watching a lot more interesting because I see it more than just a game now. And I'm like yapping like the whole time while my family doesn't give a shit. Literally this meme. So that's how I got into like baseball. With all that autism out of the way, let's recap, starting with the ALCS, the Blue Jays versus the Mariners, because that's when I was like really locked in. Game 1 starts off really well, the best possible start really. On the first pitch, Springer hits a dinger, so I thought the game was gonna be a banger. But turns out it was a bummer since Blue Jays got one other hit out of that. One lead off home run on the first pitch. Then the entire game afterwards, one more hit. For reference, the series versus Yankees, Blue Jays averaged 12.5 hits per game. It's especially bad when you consider the Blue Jays, one of the teams with overwhelming home advantage. On top of having few days rest since the series with the Mariners went all the way and like their pitchers exhausted after like a 15 inning overtime that ended with
no balls and a strike. Pajes breaks his bat. Kirkring gotta find it. Throws to the plate. Oh my goodness! He throws it away, and the Dodgers have won.
okay, that was the wrong game, but it was still like a crazy ending, so I had to show it. It was also in this situation that I learned about the if you get the batter out, the run doesn't count rule. But it was in this game I started paying like more attention and start getting scared of Cal Raleigh and the way he dumps. Okay, as long as they get the second game. If you can't tell already, I'm cheering for the Blue Jays. And they start 0-3. I'm like, how do you go on from this point? Can barely squeeze in one run. Now you need three. But then, what the fuck is that? And instant response? Game 2, first inning, saw more action than the entirety of Game 1. And the next inning, they get another run, tying the score. And we are so back, baby. No, we're not. We are, in fact, not back. That's it. The candle sure burns fast. Like the first game, hot start, then nothing. After this game, I was like, hey, call it. You know, it's over. What does the AI think? 82% for the Mariners? I mean, they had a good run. It does not get any better in game 3. Rodriguez just hits a home run double, and the Mariners' percentage shoot up to 88. Oh, but somehow Gimenez, out of all people, hits a home run double of his own, tying the score. I do not know why I say on his own, like no one can help you hit a home run, but once the floodgate opens, it really opens, and the Jays just kept hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting. This is what you like to see, right? But at some point, I was like, okay, that's enough. Let's say some hits for the next game. Because, you know, I don't want another dry game. But nope, they just kept hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting for a total of 18 hits this game. Crazy stuff. Same with next game. Mariners get the lead, and Gimenez again with another home run double. Like, okay. And the run just starts coming in. Again, after this game, I can safely say we are so back. For real this time. Next game, the last game on Mariners domain. Already got two. Let's get the third one. Mariners draw first blood on second, and Jays reply with solo runs of their own on the fifth and sixth. And it looks about done, right? The Jays defense impenetrable. Can you imagine being down 0-2 on home and turn it to their home and then turn it to 3-2? I mean, I could have worded that better, but like that would be crazy. Like, but you know what I mean. They just need to hold on for just 2 more innings. Blue Jay sends in Little to face Cal Riley, and of course he takes a fat dump. But it's not over. Little then gives a walk, another one. Dominguez gets subbed in, hits the batter. So now base is loaded with 0 outs. And this happens.
Another 2-2. It's another fastball. It's driven the other way. It's got a chance. It's a grand slam.
I saw a fan video who was in attendance, and the atmosphere was just insane. If you were there, you probably lost your hearing. This is, I think, my first Grand Slam. I didn't even know it was called a Grand Slam before this, but that's all she wrote. Lost game 5, the series now 2-3, and the Blue Jays have no room for mistakes. Here's where things get interesting, right? I want to talk about this decision. And I want to give a disclaimer. I am extremely biased. I don't like John Schneider, the Blue Jays coach. He did not fuck my wife or anything. I just don't have a reason to dislike him. Not yet, at least. I think it was the first game I saw him, like game 3 of the Yankees. The broadcasters panned to him, and I just decided I don't like him. Just one of those things, it can't be like explained. So he subbed in a little after Varland, and I literally said, I think this is a bad switch here. And this didn't even come from like a statistical view. I just have a very old school type of thinking, if things are working out, don't change anything. And Varland was doing pretty well. But I also said like maybe this is some like bullpen like strategies, perhaps little counters these people. And he was brought on specifically to deal with this exact situation. Then obviously he did not counter these people. But then here's the good part. I saw what other people had to say, afterwards. And apparently no one liked this sub either. But they actually had good reason and were pressing John Schneider of this decision. And this is what he had to say. Schneider says he wanted to make that part of the lineup see different guys. Okay, that I can agree with, which I'll get to why in a bit. But then he reiterated that Little has been one of their best pitchers and that he'll continue to trust his guys. I can't believe it. All he had to do was apologize. Take accountability. It's that simple. Would have been good and better if he said like this. And then like it was my fault for putting like Little on the spot. I miscalculated, some bullshit like that. And that would have taken fire off Little. But I'm asking too much here. He did not apologize, so people were not happy, like even more angry, probably. So naturally, the reaction was to debunk the statement. And what did he say? Little has been one of their best pitchers. So people were like, nope, and dug up his stats. Well, actually, he's the worst pitcher ever. And man, were the comments just brutal. I honestly feel bad for Little. Yeah, I mean, like skill issue, like he did not deliver. But John put him there, like it was his fault, like it was John's fault. Okay, let's now relax a bit and look at a different perspective. And this is what I like about sports. So he said, see different guys, right? And people were saying like Dominguez and Hoffman. It's funny too, because like Dominguez was the one who hit the batter with his pitch and then gave the grand slam. But not one person, like actually, not one person blamed him for it, which I find like interesting. And I understand, somewhat where John might be coming from. Like the Mariners probably prepped for Dominguez, Hoffman, Varland, and the batters, are probably used to their pitches by now, after 4 games. So you surprise them, right? But like according to the veterans, like this is like the worst possible decision because, Little had like the worst statistics and like against, Raleigh and like the 2-3-4. But imagine a world where Little actually delivered. Both him and John would be praised relentlessly. Like, wow, what a star performance in a clutch situation. John, the GOAT coach, with like the insight and knowledge. Like, this is how legends are born, Pressure makes diamonds, but pressure also makes coal. So back to reality. Little fumbled, so did Dominguez, by the way. But the main responsibility is still on John. He thought this was like some 200 IQ play, but he played himself. I respect the gamble, maybe a little less after, like seeing what people had to say. It's like apparently it's like the wrong decision on like all fronts. What I have a problem with is like the response, like in like attitude. Zero accountability from John. And somehow with this like response pours more fire on Little. So now like everyone's like attacking him like relentlessly. Like manager of a multi-billion-dollar sports organization. Like just insane, right? Just a terrible, terrible response. Holy, like I did not think I had so much to say about that. Guess I'm not beating the allegation that like I'm so seething, but imagine if they like oh my god, like just imagine if they lost the series because of this. Something else I want to show this game. The seventh inning, I think Springer gets kneecapped, right? Like, oh my god, like that does not look good, right? I always wonder. Okay, this is like I don't know, like this may be related, but I always wonder like how it feels to get like hit by a pitch, right? Like by like 100 mile per hour ball. Like, would it sting? Would it like bruise? Would it like break my arm? Like, how would it feel like, right? So if you're like a pitcher who can throw at like I don't know, like let's say like 90 miles per hour um ball, like, and if you're willing to throw it at me, let me know in the comments. And yeah, when Springer got hit by this, the commentators were like, "Oh man, this is brutal." Like, you know, like you hate to see this, and then be like, "Let's see that again in slow motion." Like, bruh. I also want to talk about Brian, like the pitcher who hit him, and like I've seen like a lot of like hit by pitch, and look at Brian here, like he's just like looking away, like, oh, what's going on over there, and like the pitcher will just not give a shit, right? Like he absolutely murdered like Springer here, and just like all the other pitchers, like I'm sure a lot of people like it's an on accident, right? They didn't control the pitch and it just hits the batter. But like none of them I see, goes up to them, like, oh my god, like I'm so sorry, like, like are you okay? Like they just like stand there, like, don't give a shit, or like show any sign of concern. And I wanted to talk about Brian Wu because I discovered like he's like a big meme, big on TikTok, and he has such like a chat face, right? The long eyebrows, like kind of reminds me of the Skylar White, yo, like literally. Okay, let's move on to Game 6, back in Blue Jays domain. Springer is back, but it hurts watching him play. Like every time like he swings, like he's like limping and like falling down. Despite that, they somehow managed an early lead and just kept it. You savage, just a lights out performance. Like this is an example of gambling paying off, right? You bring on a rookie, you put him in like a like high stakes game, and he like delivers, you know. And the defense, the Jays defense, also like exceptional. So the series is now tied. If this has not been a roller coaster enough, like wait till you see the final deciding game. Game 7, Mariners gets a run, and then this happened.
He's not going. Here's a bouncing ball left side, cut off by Clement. The third baseman hits the runner.
That must have hurt. Let's see it again in slow motion. Look at Shane Bieber, like, and I was like joking with my dad, right? I was like, yo, you see Shane Bieber? Do you remember Justin Bieber from like many years ago, like the song Baby? And it's like, he's like, yeah. I'm like, yo, these two are like cousins. And he's like, nope. I was like, what do you mean, nope? Like they have the same last name. He's just like, nope. And I looked online, and it's funny, like these two are actually like, thought this was like funny coincidence, and they're bantering with each other, online. But yeah, the Jays quickly respond with a run of their own. I mean, Varsho has been just like phenomenal in this series. But then Mariners gets 2 more home runs. Raleigh, of course, does what he does. And it looks pretty over. The Jays just cannot get any more runs. And the innings, just slowly gets like, bleed out. And then on the 7th inning, there's a chance. 2 on base, 0 outs. It's now or never. Gomez comes on, sack bunt, 1 out, still 2 on base, but now from 1-2 to 2-3. And do you hear that? Springer comes on, and it's crucial here. Any hit, like a hard line drive, would just tie up the game. It all comes down to this. And then this happens.
Possibly send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy. The 1-0 pitch.
10 years ago, Bautista hits a clutch home run and left behind an iconic bat flip, becoming a legend forever. Unfortunately, I was not able to witness that moment live, but 10 years later, I was lucky enough to witness this.
He is in a position to tie the game up and possibly Send this Blue Jays crowd into a frenzy.
The 1-0 pitch. High fly ball. Left field. Arozarena watches it go.
And the stadium roars to life. 10 seconds ago, the Jays looks defeated. Mariners beaming. And just like that, it has completely flipped. Look at that swing, man. Like literally flipped the script. Hoffman, the over-reliable closer, comes out. Strikes 1, 2, 3. Closes out the game. Like what a beautiful pitch that is. The balls to even go for that. You love to see it. And just like that, somehow, the Blue Jays clutch it and beat the Mariners 4-3. When Springer hit that, I was just like a deer in headlights. I was like stun locked for like a minute or two. And I just can't emphasize how cinema this is. Time and time again, I wrote the Blue Jays off. And time again, they proved me wrong. And like that, Jays goes to the World Series. Guerrero gets his MVP. Man, his dad must be so proud. Hall of Fame dad with his future Hall of Fame son. A few more things I thought was interesting from this series was Max Scherzer, Game 4, yelling at John. Like, dude, I instantly fell in love with this guy. Literally, Chad player versus virgin coach moment. I would have killed to know what he said.
Whoa! Hold on. Not what I want to be seeing. My manager coming. Manager's like, are you good? He says, yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Let's go. And then stares at him. Never breaks eye contact. Just stares at him with his different colored eyes and says, get off my mound.
Wow, yay. Everyone is happy for him, gassing him up, and John is just... Maybe he is being stoic here. I want that as my leader. During the whole series, I was also wondering where the hell is Bautista? Because he had to be there. The stadium got his name on it. Because if he was there, the camera would 100% pan to him, and I didn't see it. But it turns out he was there, and gave an interview afterwards. Man, what a gentleman he is. While I was still high from witnessing the absolute cinema, I saw these two clips.
But what ultimately do you feel like the legacy of this team is going to be, having gone as further than any other team in franchise history?
And this one.
I'm actually kind of at a little bit of a loss for words. The number one topic, if you will, on my mind and in my brain is just absolute profound sadness. I cannot believe what we saw last night. Everybody has shared a dream together for 49 years in this town, and it slipped through our fingers at the worst possible time.
Damn, it's brutal, eh? Hearing his voice, made me sad. And I'm not even a fan, right? This sport and, this team clearly means so much to these people. I also caught the Dodgers game, more to just check out Ohtani, because I didn't know anyone, on that team. And Ohtani's, the hottest man in the room right now. But then every time I watch him, he would just get struck out. Okay. And this is actually hilarious, right? The one time I didn't watch was the day of Blue Jays losing that Mariners game. And so I was done. I was done with baseball for today. But Ohtani decided that he was going to have his generational performance that day. Pitching and batting was just killing everyone. Giving up 0 runs and hitting 3. Yes, I repeat, 3 home runs. What the fuck? Fucking John, man, making me miss that. But I was able to catch someone else interesting, and that was Yamamoto. During game 2, he gave a home run and then just pitched a perfect game. 111 pitches. You know, after seeing like a few games, I thought the era of pitching whole games was just over. But Yamamoto was like, hold that ball. That man is just an absolute mountain. And yeah, Yamamoto's pitching is like something special. I don't know how to describe it, but I heard one of the commentators say like he had like 4 different pitching starts for like every single player. So like, man, this guy is just like, you know, like different, right? So finally, after like a day 2 break, we reached the World Series, Blue Jays versus Dodgers. And I'll be honest, I gave the Jays a 30% chance winning because if you think about it, Yamamoto is going to pitch 2 games and Otani is going to pitch 2 games. That's already 4. Last time I've checked, you only need 4 out of 7 games to win. The first game starts out pretty fair. It's 2-2, runs being traded back and forth. Then it got to the 6th inning, and oh my god.
Game 7 of the championship series. Come back and win. A leadoff walk for Bichette. Jays. Kirk. Bounces one through. Base hit right field. Varsho. Got hit. The game, bases loaded, nobody out.
Taking a liner through into left center. In to score IKF. Station to station go the Blue Jays. Kirk into the chance of driving another run.
Another 3-2.
Still nobody out in this.
Again, 90 feet apiece. They're on. Right center field. Can't say goodbye.
A grand slam! Addison Barger blows this game wide open.
They bat it around. Into shallow center field. Here comes Paez. That's down. Be good, and we can score. Here's a high drive off of the bat of Kirk. Sailing back there to center. Does it have enough, you bet? Double digits for the Jays in game 1.
The Jays scored 9 runs. 9 runs, that's like 1 run per player. I mean, okay. Don't tell me the Jays can actually win this. Oh. I mean, this guy is actually 1-run Andy. But once all you get, another full game pitched, 105 pitches. I mean, at least we're not going to see him again for a while. When watching the Mariners, I was really afraid of mostly just Raleigh. But for the Dodgers, I was afraid of like Otani, Freeman, Betts, Smith, and oh my god, it was game 3 something. Otani starts with a ground rule double, which is something I didn't even know about. This has got to be one of the worst referees I've seen, and Bichette pays the price for it. I mean, they make wrong reads all the time, but this one's special. His strike zone is like this for the entire game. Hernandez puts the Dodgers on the board with the home run, followed by one from Otani. The score is now 0-2. But thankfully, Kirk remembers Raleigh isn't the only one with cake, and he too realizes he can take a fat dump of his own. A 3-run homer, putting his team in the lead. It's not over. 2 more hits after, from Barger and Clement. Gomez hits it into deep center field, allowing Barger home. But Otani blasts one out for RBI double. Freeman then pushes him home, tying the score. On the 7th inning, Bichette hits a very weird right field double, pushing Guerrero home from first base. That is just crazy. But the happiness doesn't last long as Otani once again comes on and hits another home run, tying the game once again. He has directly contributed to 4 of the 5 runs his team has. 8th inning, 2nd and 3rd base. Just need to put the ball into play. Lucas 0 for 4. Finally manages to hit one. Another RBI from first base? That's very deep. He's running. Oh, what the hell? What a throw from Hernandez and Edmund. But look at this. It's 2 out. The ball is here. And Schneider is here. I mean, this is the space you get before the ball is even hit. He should have been like here by now. Bases loaded. Yeah, I mean, all hope is lost from here. Oh, okay. And there it is. I mean, see you guys tomorrow. It was nice knowing you. Oh? Wait, that camera looked like it's panning like it's a home run. Oh. Oh, Varsho? Damn, okay. Oh, come on, man. Oh, Varsho again. Okay. Close. Oh. Wait, Varsho? Oh, not this time. With the celebration like that, you would have thought they won the World Series. It would have sucked for either team to lose this one, honestly. Both teams had their chances. 18 innings marathon, literally doubled the length of like a regular game. I almost had a heart attack this game, like many times. Had to stay up till 3 on a Monday to finish this. There's a lot of complaining again. Like obviously I'm talking about the Blue Jays, like, the subs. Then a lot of the veterans, I think had like a lot of good points with the subbing decisions. But I just want to say, how did we even get to this point? Otani just fresh off, winning his MVP and having like a generational performance. Sure he's a little cold, game 1 and 2, but this game he was just straight fire coming out. Hits a outfield double like a bounce, then a home run. Like he's on absolutely fire and is about to farm another life game on you. So why the fuck are you still pitching to him? And yeah, he hits another home run that ties the game. Like you can't make this up, dude. Like now the game is tied, you start walking him? A smart coach recognizes and walks Guerrero on sight. And I love to tell this story, right? A farmer has a broken fence. The wolf comes and eats the sheep. After all the sheep are gone, he then realizes and fixes the fence. Just brilliant stuff. And the whole time, right? Like it was just painful to watch because Jays was on the first top half, and they just couldn't get anything going, during the overtime. I think they had like one chance, and so it was just like literally Dodgers had the sword, and it was just like, oh my god, are they gonna score? Are they gonna score? Are they gonna score? And this inning, right, hits a double. I didn't even realize how bad this was until I heard the commentator say, and I was like, oh my god, this has to be illegal. So they make a substitute bunt, pushes him to 3. At this point, it's 1 out. You just need to hit a fly ball, a drive, like anything. Like I thought it was over, but somehow they hit like a infield fly, and Blue Jay survives that, but it just delays the inevitable, and the whole time this game just felt terrible to watch, honestly. This wouldn't have happened if you just didn't pitch to Otani and just walked him earlier. And going into game 4, I had so little energy. I'm still burnt out from last game. Didn't help that it was Otani pitching, so I was like, oh man. And Springer is out from an injury last night, twisted his hips. The Dodgers starts off with a run in the second inning, but Guerrero instantly responds with a home run against Otani, which had lifted my mood quite a bit. The storyline going into this series was like, the American League versus the National League MVP Guerrero and Otani, like, oh, head to head. Now we see who came out on top. But I'm still not convinced, right? Like, I think against a team like the Dodgers, they need like way more runs to be comfortable. And they trade zeros for 3 innings. But at the 7th inning, the Jays get another great sequence, giving them 4 more runs. And like, now I'm convinced. So the game ended 6-2. Excellent pitching and defense, not giving the Dodgers anything to work with. Like, what a recovery from yesterday. So somehow the games are tied, and we move on to Game 5, the last game on Dodgers ground. My thoughts for this game is it's against Snell again, so probably another easy W.
Bro, the disrespect. I appreciate your opinion, but that's a weak ass opinion. What? Anyways.
Springer is still gone, and in his place, Davis Schneider instead of Lucas this time. And I was like, can this guy deliver? I have not seen him for a while. And as soon as I finished saying that, he hits a home run. That's like what? Like, I've seen like 3 leadoff home runs now. Are these things like super common? Like, they can't be, right? Like, it's, home runs rare itself, and a leadoff on like the first inning, first batter. That's got to be mega rare, right? And as if I wasn't shocked enough, Guerrero comes on and hits another one. Like, what? Back-to-back home run. Can you really ask for a better start? Dodgers gets a run on the 3rd, but immediately gets replied back with one on the 4th. Jays got 3 more runs on the 7th and 8th, but it was not needed. The pitching and defense was just another masterclass, completely locking out Dodgers' offense. 0 hits, 0 hits, 0 hits. You savage, striking out 12 batters in 7 innings. For comparison, Game 2 Yamamoto, 8 batters in 9 innings. So things looks pretty good, right? Blue Jays lead 3-2, and they'll be heading back home. Dare I say it, if they maintain this performance against Yamamoto, then perhaps the mountains can be moved. Well, it starts rough. A string of hits from the Dodgers. The base is loaded, and Betts comes on, and of course, he hits a crucial one, giving his team another 2 runs. The Jays gets a run of their own, but it's 1 run Yamamoto, so... And as the inning goes, the dread slowly sinks in. But then, after the 6th inning, Yamamoto gets subbed off, and I jolted awake. I was like, no way. Like, do they want to lose? Ernie on second, Gomez with an RBI chance. Bichette with runners on 1 and 2, hits it. That does not look good. But still, chance for Varsho. 1 more inning, 1 last chance. Barrier launches it far and wide. Oh, come on, get in there. Oh my god, the dude is completely stun locked. Is this an infield home run? Oh, what the hell? What do you mean by that? What even is a dead ball? I swear people are just making up rules as they go. Despite the bullshit, this is still looking really good. Runners on 2nd and 3rd, 0 outs. I mean, that is still okay. 2 more chances. There is still Gomez and Springer. He about to farm another moment. And that's a run. What? Guess Springer won't get his chance after all. I mean, what can you do? This guy was like so ready. Perhaps he's not the only one who's born ready. I mean, the Blue Jays offense for this game was just a mess, They were able to get hits, like double the hits of the Dodgers in fact, but it wasn't consecutive. Meanwhile, the Dodgers had their hits in the inning that actually mattered, on the 3rd. So somehow we have made it to Game 7. And while I enjoyed watching the games, I am exhausted, honestly, and just wanted this to be over. I remember thinking about how at least we don't have to see Yamamoto again. Other than that, I didn't know how to feel about this game at all. It all comes down to this. No matter what happens, it ends tonight. A champion will be crowned. Blue Jays gets a chance to score in the second inning, but Bichette's injured, so he couldn't run home. Damn, that's right. Still a chance, bases loaded, Gimenez. But nope. Next inning, wild pitch from Otani puts Springer on third. I mean, with Guerrero at bat, a run is as guaranteed. But he gets walked. Dodgers looking for a double play on Bichette here, but instead, he hits a 3-run homer from Otani, giving the Jays a very big lead. Could this be it? Are the Blue Jays really destined to win after all? But the Dodgers do not seem flustered. They find themselves in a loaded baseball situation, but Varsho with the dive catch. Smith is able to run home, but if not for Varsho, it would have been disastrous. It's still a dangerous situation, but Guerrero decides to farm a clip of his own with another dive catch, putting this bone-chilling inning to an end. Second half, Gimenez at bat. Ooh, this one's interesting. I didn't expect to find a kin in Gimenez. You know, someone who wants to get hit by a pitch. We see hit by pitch a lot, but this one's got some fire in it. There's some word exchanged, words I will not repeat on this Christian channel, and it quickly escalates. All hands on deck. A brutal brawl breaks out. Muncy is trying to shield his pitcher because he is pitching, so his hand is important. But the Jays' reinforcement comes from behind and pinch them in. What happens next cannot be shown on YouTube. After both teams get warned and the dust settles, Wolbuski seems unaffected and gets strikeout on Lucas. Guerrero hits a flyout, putting an end to this confrontational inning. Now it's Freeman's turn. Deja vu, same situation, same outcome. On the 6th inning, Edman sacks fly another run. It reaches far enough for Betts to run home, closing the gap. On the bottom, Ernie gets a hit and steals second base, putting Jays in scoring position with 0 outs. He is really trying all he could to win here. And Gimenez capitalizes on it and pops it deep, giving the Jays some padding. With Gimenez on second base now and 0 outs, the Jays could get more runs. Springer gets struck out. Lucas sacks Gimenez to third. Can Guerrero bring the Jays another run? Oh, it hits the ground. Close. On the 7th inning, Yasavage comes on. Walks Otani, pitches to Freeman, bounces to Guerrero, throws a second, throws it back. And wow, what a play. Rare 3-4-3. And everyone is riled up as the countdown is beginning. 8th inning, just need to hold on for 2 more. It seems everything's aligned here. Betts, Muncy, and Hernandez, the middle lineup at bat. If Yasavage can shut them down here, on the 9th inning, Otani will likely not get a chance at bat. Betts gets grounded out. Things going according to plan. But here comes Big Muncy. Well, still 1-run lead, and thankfully, the next 2 batter gets grounded out. Bottom half, Ernie really wants that W, and he sends it deep into center field, netting a double. Gimenez fakes a bunt, swings. Oh my god. If Muncy didn't grab that, it would have been a run for sure. Do you hear that? Worry not, Springer is back at bat. Not this time, I guess. Still 1 more chance. Grim. 2 strikeouts. Man, maybe next time, Ernie. The next inning, just 3 more outs and Blue Jays will be world champions. And Hoffman, the old reliable closer, strikes out Hernandez on the 1-2 pitch. Just another day for Hoffman. Rojas should be another easy out, but he really makes Hoffman work for it here, and refuses to go down. After 6 pitches, the count is full. What is the play here? The tension cannot get any higher. Hoffman confirms the pitch.
Payoff. Drilled to left field and deep and gone! No way!
I could not believe it. I don't think anyone could believe it, not even the Dodgers. But it's not over yet. The game might be tied now, but the Jays still have a chance to end it in the bottom. And Guerrero pops one high. Not quite. Next up, Bichette with a base hit. Barger with a walk. Another chance here. Oh no. What the hell is that? They need to finish this now. No, no, no. This has to be illegal. Oh, but what's this? Rare mistake from Yamamoto? Perhaps he is tired and the pressure is getting to him. Varsho, who's been instrumental in preventing runs, can now score a run of his own. Just any. Put the ball in play. He hits it. It's a ground ball. Is it over? You can't make this shit up, dude. There is still one more chance. Ernie, who has been heading everything. The base is still loaded. He pops it. It's going far. It's going wide. They're heading for a collision course. Oh, what the fuck? Pages just rails his teammate to get the ball, completely killing him. And Yamamoto gets away with this. Onto Dodgers attack. Freddie gives us quite a scare here. Now Betts takes a walk. And Muncy with the base hit. On full count, Hernandez does not bite. Now the Jays are in trouble and are very likely to lose at least a run here. But somehow they mirrored what happened an inning prior and gets the runner out on home. Same situation, base loaded with 2 outs. And the other Hernandez hits it. And Dominguez gets there just in time. Yup, never a dull moment with these folks. Blue Jays doesn't even get a chance as they get quickly dealt with. Gimenez with a ground ball. Springer with another strikeout. And Strauss a fly out. Now onto the Dodgers attack again. Is this gonna be another Game 3 marathon? Rojas gets grounded out. Otani, oh, the cutter gets him. Another ground out. Now Will Smith, another ground out. Oh, he slaps it. And for the first time this game, Dodgers gets the lead. Given it's now overtime, this isn't just any lead, it's a game-winning lead. Blue Jays needs to get a run to keep the game going. And with Guerrero at bat, he will try just that. Hitting an outfield double. It's no home run, but what more can you ask for here? You love to see it. He is not giving up. He is still fighting, giving his team another chance. With a sac bunt, Guerrero is on third. Any good hit here, even a sac fly, would tie the game at least. And with Barger at bat, I feel reassurance. But he will not get a chance to hit as the Dodgers have a talk and decide to walk him. The responsibility now falls on Kirk, who has been phenomenal throughout the games I watched. But this day, something just felt different. During Kirk's 6 years with the Jays, almost 2,000 at-bats, this is undoubtedly the most important one. But unfortunately, things don't go his way. A bat contact causes the bat, like the heart of all Jays fans out there, to break. It feels surreal but oddly inevitable that it ends like this. Throughout this journey of following the Jays, like I said before, many times I thought it was over. But just when I thought it was done, they pulled me back in. When they recovered from being down 0-2 against the Mariners, when Springer hit that home run in Game 7, when Jays took the first game against the Dodgers, when they bounced back after losing Game 3, when they won Game 5 going 3-2 in the series, when Bichette hit that home run in this final game. I believed the Jays were destined, and everything was aligned for them to win the World Series. And they were. But time and time, they made so many mistakes and threw so many opportunities. Just speaking for this series, Game 3 was very blatant, allowing Ohtani the chance to tie up the game on numerous occasions, jumping the gun with substitutes, causing the offense to completely collapse. Game 6, so many chances to score a run just botched. In Game 7, the one we just saw. That's 3 out of 7 games that could have been different. So this loss feels especially bad because it was not one single moment. It was a collection of moments and throws that just leaves you with the question of what ifs. There is this one moment where it felt like it's the peak of throw. This moment we just saw. If only IKF took a bigger lead. So why didn't he? This guy did the famous home base stealing with the Yankees after all. It was the coaches. They were scared. Imagine in this moment, instead of playing for the win, you're playing to not lose. It might sound like the same thing, but these two mentalities couldn't be further apart. Polar opposites, even. Whether you agree with it or not, the fact is, this decision cost them the World Series. It surely is grim, isn't it? I see a lot of people praising and citing John Schneider as the reason the Jays has any success to begin with, and is the only reason they made it to the World Series. I mean, the amount of cope and disrespect to the players. Like, do I just not have Stockholm Syndrome or something? Because I just started recently, and what I did see was the amount of games lost due to his and the coach's decisions. I don't want to sound too autistic and rant about batting order, but Ernie is over here breaking records. Like, how the hell are you gonna put him 8th for both Game 6 and 7? And you wonder why you can't get runs with consecutive hits. Like, it's actually criminal. I think this comment sums up perfectly. Blue Jays did not achieve success because of John Schneider. They achieved success despite him. If you don't believe me, take in comparison to Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager and coaches. Do they get criticized relentlessly? Every time they take a timeout and make adjustments, it works out most of the time. Blue Jays fumbled numerous chances thanks to management error, and Dave Roberts captured every opportunity, leading his team to back-to-back world champions. Didn't get a single vote for Manager of the Year last year, and didn't even get nominated this year. I don't want to be negative Nancy, but it's gotta be said. After all these years, even making it to the World Series is an outstanding achievement for the Blue Jays. And that would have been the case if the game didn't slip through their fingers at the worst possible times. And let's be honest, who looked like the underdogs in this series? This throw, this missed opportunity at clutching the World Series will haunt the organization and the players until they win a World Series. And with John Schneider staying for I don't know how long, I don't see the Jays getting a chance at redemption. I really hope I'm wrong, but if there's one thing I know for certain, is that oceans rise and empires fall, but people never change. It is what it is. Despite not getting the most desirable outcome, this has got to be the greatest World Series of all times. I'm blessed to be able to witness this absolute cinema. It's literally got everything you can ever ask for, really. And I will remember it fondly for a very long time. With that being said, I will now cheer for the Dodgers. It turns out they were the destined team this whole time. It should have been obvious given the fact that they have God and anime on their side. And I'm half Californian, so
Join them, baby.
I will still cheer for the boys. I mean, how could you not? Maybe I will cheer for the Jays again if they rid off the current management and execute them.